Pulling out the coupe at the lot. Told him fuck 12, fuck SWAT. Busting all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick with the box.
People, what's up? And welcome back to the Melanin Made Show with K-Lou and
Shay.
Today we got a man of many names, man of many talents. So I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead, man.
So, good morning, good afternoon, world. You know, my name is Terrance, deal with Big Bird, whatever you want to call me. I'm just happy to be here.
You wrote a book.
Yes.
Can you give us a little synopsis of it?
So, the name of the book is called The Heartbreak of a Black Man, right? And it details, like, man, how we're taught to not really show emotion or to show what we're going through in our personal lives in regards to our relationships, right? So we don't really make it known that we're heartbroken by, like, you know, the other sex or the same sex or like whatever we're into, right? So I kind of like use my story to like break down that barrier for like black men to be comfortable enough like opening up to, you know, their experience post-love or like the aftermath of love or when they get their heart broken. And like the steps that they go through or that we go through and how to properly heal and move on from that situation and how to debunk like the common myths and stereotypes that's kind of associated with like black love and stuff.
So, if I'm not mistaken, you started off writing poetry?
I did, right?
Okay.
So
Was it to get girls?
maybe.
No.
Roses are red, violets are blue.
No, so the
Hey
reason,
girl, I love you.
so the reason I did that, I kind of write about it. I kind of write about it in the book, right? So I talk about how we all need an outlet, right? So when we're going through something, like it just pops out or like it just comes out in a negative way. So I try to get it exactly right. So because like as black men, we don't really talk to our niggas or our friends group about like, you know, women problems. Like just writing poetry, right? And the way I would do it was like write it in performing like busboys and poets at like open mic night, right? So like I'm from DC, but the open mic night I went to was like far out in Maryland because I didn't want anybody to know, right? I didn't want my friends to come. Right? I didn't want to bump into anybody.
Right.
So I was just always going like a random Tuesday and spit it in front of like a bunch of random people, and that was like me getting it off my chest, right?
So your mind wouldn't be cloudy, so that was your outlet.
Yeah. So that was my outlet, and again, like that's kind of what I talk about, how we all kind of need an outlet to let out our frustrations or whatever we're going.
So, like you said, you felt like a little, you know, outside of yourself to actually perform or tell people that you did poetry.
Yeah.
How did you break that barrier? Like, how did you first say, okay, to your friends or family, like, listen, I like to write. Did you ever do that, or did you just like, slide it in there?
So no, look. So with poetry, right? With the poetry thing, like again, I didn't tell a soul, right? I just literally just went out there, like by myself, and just performed it by myself. Cause again, I wanted nobody to know. Like the whole book thing, y'all might be like the first two people to know. So probably by the time this ends, everybody knows.
We lit.
Exactly. Brother made exclusive, right? Like literally, like so. From the time we taped this, like it probably got approved 2 days ago. But I was working on it since August of 2018, so that was like 14 months in making. The whole process, I didn't tell a soul, right? Probably because I wanted to keep it to myself, and then because of like the personal shit, stuff. The personal stuff in the book.
Y'all cuss
like,
too.
Yeah, I was like a little afraid to divulge it just because of like the heavy amount of personal stuff that's in the book, right? And like I said, just like, it's like unfamiliar territory for like black men to go to other black men for support in terms of, you know, like what you do when you get your heart broken, right?
Emotionally.
Exactly, right? So it's like, so a good example, right? Is like I did like this little test like a few months ago, right? So you know how like we know them bros, y'all know them bros, right? So I got like a line chat, right? So like I did like this little test, right? So I was like, yo, like how many of y'all have been heartbroken or some shit, right? Cause we don't talk about this shit. Like normally we talk about.
And I'm guessing, I mean, what you talk about?
Well, listen,
bro, what you talk about? This like,
well, usually, you know.
Was it random? Like, it was just a random.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's because you know how.
I I'm probably what are you talking about?
Listen, I ain't trying to listen. I'm not trying to like break bro code from like men across the world, but you know like how we talk about hoes, right?
Yeah.
We talk about women. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But we talk about women like all like other bullshit or like money or whatever. We never talk about like personal shit, especially when it goes left or when it goes bad, right? So we bring it up. Of course, like, I wasn't nervous because I was just saying just to see what the reaction would be, right? So, first few minutes, nobody responded. So I was like, niggas just probably curvy or whatever. Then after a while, it was like, oh, who the fuck broke your heart? Or like, shut your ass up, some shit like that, right? Niggas just like trying to make a joke out of it, right? Which just proves my point that it's like, either niggas are not comfortable talking about it, niggas don't know what to say, right? Or niggas, well, we joke about everything, right? So niggas just take everything as a joke. But sometimes, like, you actually need that shoulder to lean on, or that person to voice your, like, frustrations with. That's kind of one of the ways it told me that, like, black men don't really tend to open up amongst other black men, or the family, or black women, or whatever.
See, that's just so weird to me. Let's just get into it. Because it's just like, so many men out here react to their emotional distress in such negative ways. You would really think that this would be more of a topic. Like, for example, look at, like, so many situations, probably domestic abuse situation, mental disorders, you know, anger issues, that's among the black community. They are stereotypes, I'm not saying for all men, but you would think that this is more, you know, this conversation is needed.
It takes a big, it's a big part of how it is at home. From a person who had anger problems and was working on it, it's what you see in your household is determines on how you are going to be intimately with a female, or as a male, or whoever the opposite sex is, or whoever you're involved with. What you see with your parents or what you grow up with is how you're going to dictate how you react in a relationship. So, like, when I saw how my father treated my mother, I thought that was the right way of how you treat a woman. Even though some of the shit he did was wrong, I didn't know because I'm a child growing up. This is what I see. So, from a male's perspective, as a child, you're looking at your role model, which is your parent. Whatever they do, you think is right because that's what you see. So coming out and when you get into the real world and you're the adult now, you're the one that's doing it. So you don't know how to be intimate because you didn't see somebody growing up being intimate. You don't know how to show your emotion because somebody in your household they were emotionless.
So what I wrote about not being, like, intimate with opposites or positive intimacy is it's about when you're going through something, it's specifically like a tough breakup or getting your heart broken, the after effects of it, right? So it's not really like a relationship, you know, like the typical Steve Harvey relationship bullshit book, right? Yeah. It's about the aftermath of it, right? Because unless you literally met your girlfriend in like 10th grade or something like that, right? And married her, and then that was your first love, and y'all had kids together. Everyone's gonna have a tough breakup, right? Everybody's gonna have their heart broken. Everybody's gonna have something that affects them, like some tough breakup that affects them afterwards, right? But you never hear about that, right?
I had a bad breakup in 8th grade.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Shut up.
But no, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like everybody's gonna have that tough breakup, but we rarely hear about it from our friends, right? We never hear about that. We always hear about like fucking girls, or like getting money, or maybe like if you get older, like getting married and having kids. We never hear about like the tough things, like getting our heart broken, like somebody like breaking up with us, or getting cheated on, or getting lied to, or whatever. Like we always hear about how we go through this women's phone, but we never talk about when we do it, or when we do the stuff that we're not typically proud of. Like that's never talked about, right? Again, it's in the subtitle, like the truth behind the best kept secret. Like when we're heartbroken, nobody discusses it, right? Yeah. So just me discussing it and letting black men specifically know that you're not alone, right? That's the worst thing to think about when you're getting your heart broken. Like, oh, how did this happen to me? This only happened to me. Like only I'm getting cheated on, right? But it's not. Everybody goes through it. Just nobody talks about it. So I just kind of detail what I went through, like the mistakes I made and the lessons that I took from it. So hopefully people won't go through that same tough experience I did, right?
I just thought of something. To prove your point, I clearly just said I had a bad breakup in 8, and you just told me
that's what I'm saying. Because we know you was a joker. We know you was a joker, so we think you playing. Like 8th grade, what happened? Like she stole your lollipop or some shit? Like what happened?
To get back on topic.
Right.
Ask the other question, but music-wise, how do you think it influences? Because a lot of music now is shoot 'em up, bang bang, throw up gang signs type of stuff.
And what else though? Fucking your girl, right? Oh, yeah. You wifing her, I'm fucking her. Oh, you wifing the girl. I'm running through these hoes, right? So imagine you get cheated on, right? And all you hear is oh fuck your bitch, some Gucci flip flops or some shit.
I just fuck your bitch and some Gucci flip flops. I just had some bitches and I made them flip flops.
That's what I'm saying. Because
that plays with hits your mental hard.
As a human being, right, we internalize things, right? So we kind of personalize things. That's why we like music, right? That's why women love Drake, right? And that's why we like other shit.
I love Drake though.
That's what I'm saying. Cause we feel like he's speaking to us. We feel like we can like Marvin's Room, right? Okay. We love Marvin's Room. Cause we all drunk texting somebody, or drunk call somebody. Probably let leave a voicemail.
Homecoming weekend, yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. We probably text something. We probably text something that we thought was fire. Like we was like the Langston Hughes of like drunk texts and shit. Right? And we woke up in the morning and we looked just like, what the fuck? What was I saying? But that's what I'm saying. So just like when we hear it's like different type of music talking about, oh, like I fucked your girl, or like I fucked like all these hoes, or like you wife them all about money, and you over there sulking over a girl that like cheated on you or like lied to you, or someone that you still in love with but she's not in love with you. It's just like you started internalizing music.
Have you already told certain individuals that they are in this book?
Fuck no. No clue. No clue.
Yeah. What about like, are you expecting any backlash in a sense?
Oh yeah, they gonna hate me probably. But no, so the way I did it, right? Of course I signed like fake names, right? And then, but I didn't want to. It's not a tell-all book, so it's not like some fucking Corinne Steffens like bullshit, right?
Calm down, yeah.
The way it's phrased is really
that
just
was a wild book, though.
the beginning is wild too.
Hold on, y'all know who Corinne Steffens is? You know what
you're talking about? Superhead?
Yeah, Superhead.
No.
Oh, you need to watch.
I got the link.
Y'all need. If y'all don't know who Corinne Steffens is,
Put me on.
we can put it in the bottom. Don't worry about it.
We gonna tag him.
Superhead, SUPAHEAD, Superhead.
So the way I did it, they had fake names. It wasn't like, it was situations that only they would know, right? So it's not like people could read it. It's like, oh, I know what that's about. Only that person would know. See what I'm saying?
Reading the little synopsis, the times overlap when you're dealing with one female and another female. So
let's get into it.
I mean, we're
Let's get into the toxic
some of the times
shit.
definitely overlap. So how are you coping with that now?
So that's what I'm saying, right? So like you gotta think about it. So like we think of like love stories. We think of like, you know, like The Notebook, or like typical movie shit where it's just like, all right, you fell in love. It's like a climax. So y'all really fuck with each other, and then it just
falls off.
Yeah, like something dramatic happening, it falls off. It's like love is like a little bit more complicated than that, right? Especially like nowadays, right? So it's not just black and white. Like it's a big gray area. And I don't want to say too much. You got to read the book to, you know, to read it. But
make sure you do that.
But yeah, so I mean, you're right. So sometimes we overlap. But I talk about how like I was like an ancient person, right? You know what I mean? Like black men don't cheat, of course.
Black men don't cheat.
And bros are wholesome.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah, but so I'm no angel, so like I'll always admit I was ain't shit. I was probably like, I wasn't the worst of them all, but I was, you know, top 3, top 5. top 5. So I'm definitely like a much better man, you know, as I am now.
He's reformed.
Okay.
But I learned the hard way, right? So that is what I talk about.
The karma hit you?
Yeah. So that's what I talked about in the chapter called Scared Straight, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, again, like I was a cheater. Like I was like the worst thing of all. But then I could, like whenever I cheated on her, I could see the hurt in their eyes. But for some reason, like it didn't really stop me. Like I still cared or whatever. Like I still loved her. Yeah, but it didn't take. It took me getting cheated on to feel that hurt, right? So when I felt that hurt, that was something that I never wanted to inflict on someone else again. Like that was a different type of pain that I never felt before. So from then I was like, I would never ever do that to someone else again.
Someone that's going through that type of situation, what advice can you give to them?
Someone that's going through heartbreak or someone that's just trying to write?
Either one.
So for people who try to write, like just do it. Like nowadays it's much easier. It's much easier to publish a book, right? You don't need any startup money. You don't need to be a professional writer. Like I hated writing. Like I hated fucking like in college, like doing the English essays. Like I used to like purposely try to take other electives so I wouldn't take writing. Like,
oh my god, damn, it was that deep.
Yeah.
He was a person that took Spanish for no reason.
Yeah. the funny shit was like my father was a writer. My father used to write speeches for like the president or whatever, like back in like a few administrations ago. So he was like a big writer. So I remember being a kid and him writing like my science papers because I didn't know what to do the shit, right? Because I was always a math person. But it's just like, when you're going through something, you gotta find a way to get it out. So if you write, all you gotta do, like, it's mad simple. Just start a Word doc, just write whatever you wanna write. And all you gotta do is just go through Amazon. And what they do is, I don't wanna, get too much into it, but what they do is like, you don't need any startup money. All you gotta do is, they just take money off. They take like some of the profits, right?
Right.
So if you sell a book for $40, they might take $10 off the shit, right? Or if you, it's better. There's a percentage of it, right? So whatever you sell, they just take money off the top of them. Either you can do an ebook, or you can do like paperback, or you can do both. I mean, that's what I did. So my paperback is going for 10. Shameless plug. Paperback is going for 10. No. Sorry. The ebook is going for 10. The paperback is for 20, right? So
there's no excuse for why y'all can't buy it.
Yeah. So we're gonna insert a little cover here.
Okay.
No, but yeah. So they just take a percentage of it. So it's really that easy, and the process literally takes like, once you finish the manuscript, that's what you call it before it's officially a book. Once you finish like the material, all you do is upload it through Amazon, and they're gonna approve it in like 1 to 2 business days, or just 1 to 2 days. I mean, it could be on the weekend or whatever. And it's really that simple. And what's dope about Amazon, again, they're not paying me for this, but what's dope about Amazon is, if you find something you want to change, you can update the book after you publish it, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you can make changes to it, and then they'll review it again, and then you can publish like new versions of it with the same book cover, same whatever. I guess my advice for people who are heartbroken is, make sure, don't feel, one, you're not the only one going through it, right? 2, find a way to get your feelings out, right? Because you're not gonna move past it unless you get whatever you're saying out. I'm not saying like call up the girl like, look bitch, I hate you or some shit like that, right? But I'm just saying, just like, I hate you, Jody!
I hate you! Well, you know what? I hate your ass too. Do something.
Yeah, I hate you, Jody! I'm just saying, just like, don't think you're the only person going through it. Don't think it's a time limit. Don't think, oh, it's been like a month, or it's been 6 weeks. My friend is over it. My friend has been over it since like shorter than that, so I should be over it in like the same time period. Everybody is different. Everyone heals differently. Everyone heals different at a different pace, right? So just don't rush the process.
And we're back. Y'all thought we left. I live here.
All right, Terrance. What's up? You got a question for us for the Melanin Made Show?
Yes. So we're gonna turn the tables around. So it's my show right now. So welcome to the Melanin Made Terrance version, right? Right? I have my guests here, Shay and Kaylu. Y'all say hi. Y'all say what's up to my people.
Hey guys.
You know what I mean?
So happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Listen.
Why you sitting like?
Listen, I'm the host. I'm be comfortable.
You sitting like Montel Williams.
I'm trying to be
Why is he sitting like Montel Williams?
I'm trying to be comfortable so y'all can be comfortable, right? I treat my people right on my show.
Got you.
On Terrance Hobson's Melanin Made Special. Right?
Yeah. Fire.
So, first, thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you
so
for
glad
having
to be
To
here.
my lavish home, as you can see. 5,000 square feet. You probably can see that. Yeah. Graffiti made by me.
You did it in like 2 hours.
Yeah, crazy. Multi-talented. Enough about my accent. So let's get to the nits and grits here. So my question for you guys is, what is success for the Melanin Made Show? Like, what would you guys define as success for the Melanin Made Show?
You go first.
For our complete vision, we wanted to be an actual TV show, preferably or from a black-owned channel. But we want to not expose. We want to give the promotion and support all black businesses across the world. And we feel that everybody use social media and watch television or listen to the radio. By us using all these outlets, we feel like success for us will be to brand everybody that we can. To be an actual TV show, for us to have email blasts. We want to turn the table so everything comes back home in the culture.
Everything, giving it back to our community as best as possible, as much as possible.
So just keep the black dollar within our community, right?
Yeah, because you gotta think every other ethnicity does that. Like they help themselves and feed off of everyone else.
Exactly.
We don't do that. We tend to take our money and go to
everywhere.
Go somewhere else and buy the same thing that you get for cheaper with better quality in your own community.
Right. So you're saying like when we earn money, it immediately leaves the
immediately.
Now, you gotta think, 9 times out of 10, your money is already with a black dollar. Your money is already spent before you even get your paycheck.
Right.
Like you think, like once you get your check, you like, oh, I'll get paid on the 15th. I got rent, I got this, I got that. I want to get this, I want to get that. I got children to feed. It's your check. By the time you get your check, you're already on your next check.
Yep.
Unless you're like a wealthy person. If you're a real wealthy person, you're not worried about that. But 9 times out of 10, when you're a wealthy person, your money is going somewhere else.
Exactly.
That's what's maintaining you to be wealthy.
And to each his own, granted, to each his own. If you guys want to spend your money someplace else, that's fine. Do what you want to do. But make sure you bring it back to your community as well. Bring it back to your generations that's below you. We're growing up in a time where people are growing up broke. We have nothing to our names. We have nothing to give back to the generations that's coming after us.
Well, yeah. So what I've been reading up on and listening on is like the traditional TV show is like transitioning out, right? Yeah. Like a lot of people are doing YouTube shows or just putting out their own content because they can control what they put out, right? So when you get a TV show, they kind of may restrict you. They may try to change the shit up a little bit. But if you control and own your content, then you can put the shit out as you like.
Even still with YouTube, they kind of do that too. Like you can't have certain stuff in your videos, like
really filtered as well.
Yeah, just because it's people do like vlogging and stuff now because it's their life. You can't you can't dictate someone's life. When we have a show like we have, like some people will say it's racist because we're going with our culture. We're
excluding other nationalities, ethnicities.
Yeah. So as far as when it comes to a television show, most shows now are reality TV. That's what's blowing up.
Reality, but not exactly.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not real. It's scripted reality
TV show.
Yeah. So for us, it'll be something different, and with like the way we do like interactive interviews and we do sit down interviews, and so you get different content from different people in different businesses. The fact that we do like our own vlog stuff is because we want everyone to see that we're down to earth. We want everybody to know that we're regular
as personable
people.
As you can.
We want you to be comfortable around us.
And as well as having a TV show, not only a TV show, because if we can get on a TV show, then that's on a network, then that's great. If we can build our own network, that is like
awesome.
Stay tuned. That's all I'm saying. Just keep following us. Promise you, we got a lot of stuff for you. But we're also hitting other people on different mediums. All mediums, actually.
Everything that we can get our hands on, we're trying to do.
We're doing it. Yeah. We're on it, no matter what.
Yeah, that's super dope. As a fan, as a super fan, I'm always intrigued by the people you have on. Like even if I recognize them, don't recognize them. Like the massage thing is probably one of my favorite, and I think it was the Swag clothing company.
Yeah,
that was super dope too. I do think y'all bounce off each other well, right? Like I think y'all both are kind of like one and the same, which we talked about earlier. but what we're not gonna say on camera. We're not gonna say on camera.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, but Kaylu's funny and goofy, and you're serious but also goofy, so it's kind of brings a unique perspective, a unique take to It's not just sitting down and just so tell us about yourself. It's not black and white.
Right.
It's more fun, I think.
And that's how we want it, because this is what it is. When you create a business you already know all the technical stuff that you went through with your book. You want to speak technical stuff here on the show, and then technical stuff here. And
you can't do it.
You want to
First of all, I can't be technical. I think I'm slow. I can't do that. So she's really it's really a balance. It's really a balance. I really but we said it in our episode with Swagger Pearl or Randy. The stuff that I say, I'll shoot it out there real quick, and she'll bring the reality out of it. Because that's how you get our balance. I'm like, hey, Shay, we need to do this, that, and the third. She's like, okay, no, we need to do X, Y, and Z.
I said we need to think about this. Let's think about this real quick.
But that's how it works like that all the time. But it's always a common ground. Let's not get this twisted. She is as random as I am.
Yes.
She's definitely as random as I am.
And and Kaylu knows his business shit too. He's on it as well. It's just.
Look at y'all complimenting each other.
Whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's.
I don't even like her off camera.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You are such a hater.
You know, that's all I had for the Terrance Hobson version of the Melanin Made Show.
That's a short show.
Thank you for, coming to my house, to my humble abode.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciating my art and my comfy $4,000 couch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, so again, y'all, Terrance Hobson, Melanin Made Show, I guess. If you want to follow, you can.
At Melanin Made Show on all social media platforms. Thank you.
She said the nigga so got a cash out. Told him wipe a nigga